The first lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akuffo Addo, she has embarked on a certain foundation which is known as a market-creche project, which is aimed at building more creches for market women in the country. This will serve as a very affordable childcare center for their children and give these market women the choice of an opportunity to work, and to be very, very, very tranquil, in their moves and in the way they go about their stuff. Uh, there's flexibility in working, but when these children are around, it's like they have to pay more attention to the child. Either that or they pay more attention to the work. And since most of these market women cannot juggle the two, they either pay attention to the child more or to the work more, and it affects them. Now, from what we are seeing and hearing, this market crèche project is going to not only support the women to improve their economic status, but also just the way they go about stuff. Now, the foundation is putting up these crèches in a number of markets which are located in various parts of the country. Obviously, it's for toddlers and just little children that belong to these traders who are serious about their work. It's to help them to concentrate on their business, like we said earlier on. It's more of like be able to work 100%, but still not be worried about the well-being of your child. Yeah, and it's a good initiative when you think about the fact that it's located close to this market. Then it will give these traders, these market women, the ease and the comfort to operate well, because they can easily meet their child, unlike when if this crèche was far away from them. So that's what the first lady is working on. According to news reports, it's expected that these crèches would have some facilities inside of them to help not only the children but also those who manage them. There are going to be some different types of washrooms. There are going to be some changing rooms. Even there's going to be like some form of a clinic like in this facility. Then obviously canteens are not going to be left out, so that it will be able to do what they plan on doing. Apparently, they plan on holding out a number of 150 children in one facility, but it could increase in the future depending on how well the project goes. Now, when these children have been born, their first 7 years is like one of the most basic years to teach the child something that's very worthwhile. What happens is that because these market women carry their children with them to the market, the learning that is done is only market based, but they are not able to grasp the school system well. Yeah, so for those market women who are not able to leave their children in schools and have to carry them with them, this is going to be a very important thing for them. It's going to keep them from restricting their children's learning and exposure to only the marketplaces where there's noise, death, chaos most times, and there's arguments here and there. I mean, when you expose your child to environments where they are bargaining all the time, come on. I mean, by the time your child is 20, he'll be bargaining with you. Yeah, that kind of thing. Mom will be like, do it this way. No, mom, bring it down. Mom will be like this. No, mom, what's your last? There'll be just that kind of bargaining between children and parents, and we don't want that happening, especially not to our very talented, strong, and vibrant children who are coming up these days. I'm amazed at how quickly these children learn these days. It's funny. Sometimes you can watch a child do something and you would imagine how the child gets to do it, because these children are not only speaking like adults, they're actually acting like them. I don't know, maybe there's something they put in the food of these children these days. I don't know whether the Cerelac is made with more glucose or something. There's just something about the children of these days, man. They just seem to be shooting up to parenthood so fast. It's just maturity. It's like not body maturity, just their whole sense of humor, the way they move about, the way they think and all. It's very very yeah. Very, we'll use the word strange. It's just so speedy for some of us who are new to this child parent thing. Yeah. So um these types of exposure would help them to channel the right energies, to channel the right thinking, their ideas of how the families are supposed to like be, like the ideas of how the whole community system is supposed to be like. It would give them the right idea about it, and this is going to go a long way to keep them from involving themselves in unscrupulous deals, moving about with the wrong crowd. At an early age, children will always move wherever the crowd is going. They are kids. Excitement and all those things moves them. They are not really led by the spirits like some adults. They just like to be led by anything that is exciting. So these creches and schools are very crucial to their learning environment. It will help develop the child and give them the foundation they need for the future, not only for their learning in the future, but to build upon that which is going to help them to make a difference in our society. It's very 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 important. Sometimes even when you look at the physical needs alone, you realize that some of these children, if they were given the right education and training on how to see to these physical needs, it wouldn't be a bother to them as they grow up. Like there are some things that though it's not too demanding, they can learn. There are things they can understand. There are things they can see for themselves and know that, I don't have to be a grown up to start doing this. For example, to start washing my own clothes, to start saving for the future. Though it's good to keep your mind off those types of stress, you can also start getting those little ideas into the child, not to stress them, like what am I going to eat, what am I going to, but then to give them this idea of working towards a secure future. And sometimes these institutions do help a lot. Yeah, it takes them away from the wrong places, and it gives them the quality care that they need, and it gives them the care at the level they need it. That's very important, because sometimes you could be giving care, but you would be giving the care at the wrong level. And what happens is that what this does is it forces the child to enter a place where he's not prepared for. You get it? But when you give the care at the right level, the young age will not matter, because that child is getting what is right at a particular time. There's a time for milk and there's a time for meat. So you can't force meat into the child's mouth when he's still working his way out on milk, when his stomach is not able to take it. It's something like that. We are just using meat and milk as an example. We are not saying that's exactly what these facilities are going to be doing. But on the whole, they are going to help build and maintain better relationships, not only between these children, but also with their parents, and between these children and other adults, and also other children. Sometimes charity can only be gotten from these places. You notice how these types of schools give them guidance on how to say thank you, how to say please, how to avoid things like chuckling. Just this general good behavior pattern can be gotten from such places, and I recommend the idea. Whereas where if you were leaving a child to roam in the market, he sees things like people screaming, excuse my language, your mother, and those types of things, then they pick it up, and then they unknowingly start a life of wrong, and they just start doing things because that's what they see others do. They don't get the education that those things are not very very mannered, like they are not things to be done and said. But these facilities are going to make that difference. So the Rebecca Foundation is believing that these creches will serve as a safe and accessible, affordable childcare center for the market women and also for their families. It will give them an opportunity to be flexible with the works that they do. There are some market women who don't even do only one work, but they are involved in 2 or 3 jobs at the same time. So yeah, then there's there also they need to see how it's going to be of help to those market women who are single mothers. Most of our market women today is strange. It's funny. You think they have husbands at home, but they don't. And sometimes it just makes me sad to see a woman, like, the weaker part of the two sexes, going about doing all this hustle and bustle, and at the end of the day, she's the only one taking care of the child. And the men who are supposed to be the more energetic ones are nowhere to be found. And these women are literally giving out their lives for these children. And there are a lot of societal dangers that these children are vulnerable to. They are exposed to stuff on the market. Even kidnapping is possible, very possible in the market now. Child abuse, a lot of these stuffs, things happen in the market. People, it's a place where a lot of people meet with different characters and different backgrounds. But for the child to enjoy peace and a good upbringing, the market is not always the ideal place at all. Not at all. So let's hope that the move will be a successful one and it will be good. Their theme and one of their focus was to ensure relevance and sustainability of this market project to help the women. They are working closely with also these relevant state institutions and some agencies. I went through the list of some of the agencies they were working with, and I was shocked because I didn't even believe they would have those types of collaborations. But it's very amazing. It's very good. There are some agencies whose name wouldn't love to be mentioned, but are putting in a lot to support this project and to bless these market women, with this type of aid. Now, we also hope that the right people, the qualified personnel, will be recruited to manage these facilities, because sometimes these motives are good and the people who start them are good, but the problem is those who run them. For example, the first lady cannot be in all of these scratches making sure that things are happening, but she would employ people, something like that. But then the people who will be employed will be making the whole thing a funny show, and then later when people are complaining, they'll not blame them, but they'll be blaming the people who started these types of foundations. So let's hope and pray that the right personnel would be employed, people who are passionate not only about money, people who are passionate about children and not only about money. Yeah, there seems to be this money craze thing that is going on out there. The only important thing is the money. That kind of syndrome, it has to be done away with. These are kids and these are our own children, our own life in the future. So yeah, that's what we have to do. Some of us are where we are today because of the inputs that certain individuals made in our lives when we were young. I quite remember there were some inputs that some people in the community made in my life, which were not even my parents, and I was very grateful for it. Sometimes you could even be influenced by a certain prayerful person who may change a lot of things in your life, to suit you. So yeah, God bless all those who have been very impactful to us, those who have been blessings to us, those who have exposed us to the prayer life, to worship, those who have been with us, to guide us, to tell us this is not the right way, because sometimes your parents will not be able to see the things you do and tell you that, use this path, stay away from this path. So all those are included into all these things that will be taking place. Now, we speaking to a certain Rebecca Akuffo Addo in an interview. She made comments that these are important because not only are they critical for the development years of every human being, she claimed that this was the time that the valuable relationships are supposed to be formed in the children's lives and not later when they become old. They say when you get a child young, you get a child forever. So when you catch them young, they shall be yours forever. That kind of thing. It's just basically saying when you tame them at the right age, it wouldn't be a problem for you to try to discipline them in the future, because you'd have given them a mental idea of what life is supposed to be like, and not what the world is portraying out there. So and that's just about it. So what do you think about this foundation? Are there ways we could help the first lady to make it a better one? Could we encourage more collaborations? Could we help to identify the societal needs of market women and vulnerable children, so that these solutions can be provided? You can give us your views. Just let us know in the comment section below. Just let us see how this thing has touched you. There's supposed to be a certain conviction that you feel from it. So yeah, let us know, and then have a nice day. Bye.